ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। Let us quickly revise from the actual sahasranama. Mm, ॐ स्थिरस्थाणुः प्रभुर्भीमः प्रवरो वरदो वरः सर्वात्मा सर्वविख्यातः सर्वः सर्वकरो भवः जटी चर्मी शिखी खड्गी सर्वांगः सर्वभावनः हरश्च हरिणाक्षश्च सर्वभूतहरः प्रभुः प्रवृत्तिश्च निवृत्तिश्च नियतः शाश्वतो ध्रुवः श्मशानवासी भगवान् खचरो गोचरोर्दनः अभिवाद्यो महाकर्मा तपस्वी भूतभावनः उन्मत्तवेषप्रच्छन्नः सर्वलोकप्रजापतिः महारूपो महाकायो वृषरूपो महायशाः महात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा विश्वरूपो महाहनुः लोकपालोऽन्तर्हितात्मा प्रसादो हयगर्दभिः पवित्रं च महांश्चैव नियमो नियमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मा स्वयंभूत आदिरादिकरो निधिः सहस्राक्षो विशालाक्षः सोमो नक्षत्रसाधकः चन्द्रः सूर्यश्च निःकेतुर्ग्रहो ग्रहपतिर्वरः अत्रिरत्र्या नमस्कर्ता मृगबाणार्पणो नघः महातपा घोरतपा अदीनो दीनसाधकः संवत्सरकरो मन्त्रः प्रमाणं परमं तपः योगी योज्यो महाबीजो महारेता महाबलः सुवर्णरेता सर्वज्ञः सुबीजो बीजवाहनः दशबाहुस्त्वनिमिषो नीलकण्ठ उमापतिः विश्वरूपः स्वयं श्रेष्ठो बलवीरो बलो गणः गणकर्ता गणपतिर्दिग्वासाः काम एव च मन्त्रवित् परमो मन्त्रः क्षम्यताम् मन्त्रवित्परमो मन्त्रः सर्वभावकरो हरः कमण्डलुधरो धन्वी बाणहस्तः कपालवान् अशनीशतघ्नी खड्गे पट्टिशी चायुधी महान् श्रुवहस्तः सुरूपश्च तेजस्करो निधिः उष्णीषी च सुवक्त्रश्च उदग्रो विनतस्तथा दीर्घश्च हरिकेशश्च सुतीर्थः कृष्ण एव च शृगालरूपः सिद्धार्थो मुण्डः सर्वशुभङ्करः अजश्च बहुरूपश्च गन्धधारी कपर्द्यपि ऊर्ध्वरेता ऊर्ध्वलिङ्ग ऊर्ध्वशायी नभस्थलः त्रिजटी चीरवासाश्च रुद्रः सेनापतिर्विभुः अहश्चरो नक्तञ्चरस्तिग्ममन्युः सुवर्चसः गजः दैत्यः कालो लोकधाता गुणाकरः सिंहशार्दूलरूपश्च आर्द्रचर्माम्बरावृतः कालयोगी महानादः सर्वकामश्चतुष्पथः निशाचरः प्रेतचारी भूतचारी महेश्वरः बहुभूतो बहुधरः स्वर्भानुरमितो गतिः नृत्यप्रियो नित्यनर्तो नर्तकः सर्वलालसः घोरो महातपाः पाशो नित्यो गिरिरुहो नभः सहस्रहस्तो विजयो व्यवसायो ह्यतन्द्रितः अधर्षणो धर्षणात्मा यज्ञः कामनाशकः दक्षयागापहारी च सुसहो मध्यमस्तथा तेजोपहारी बलः मुदितोऽर्थो जितो वरः गम्भीरघोषा गम्भीरो गम्भीरबलवाहनः न्यग्रोधरूपो न्यग्रोधो वृक्षपर्णस्थितिर्विभुः सुतीक्ष्णदशनश्चैव महाकायो महाननः विश्वक्सेनो हरिर्यज्ञः संयुगा पीडवाहनः तीक्ष्णतापश्च हर्यश्वः सहायः कर्मकालवित् विष्णुप्रसादितो यज्ञः समुद्रो वडवामुखः हुताशनसहायश्च प्रशान्तात्मा हुताशनः उग्रतेजा महातेजा यज्जन् क्षम्यताम् उग्रतेजा महातेजा जन्यो विजयकालवित् ज्योतिषामयनं सिद्धिः सर्वविग्रह एव च शिखी मुण्डी जटी ज्वाली मूर्तिजो मूर्धगो बली वेणवी पणवी ताली खली कालकटङ्कटः नक्षत्रविग्रहमतिर्गुणबुद्धिर्लयो गमः प्रजापतिर्विश्वबाहुर्विभागः सर्वगोमुखः विमोचनः सुसरणो हिरण्यकवचोद्भवः मेढ्रजो बलचारी च महीचारी श्रुतस्तथा सर्वतूर्यनिनादी च सर्वातोद्यपरिग्रहः व्यालरूपो गुहावासी गुहो मालीतरङ्गवित् त्रिदशस्त्रिकालधृक्कर्म सर्वबन्धविमोचनः बन्धनस्त्वसुरेन्द्राणां युधि शत्रुविनाशनः साङ्ख्यप्रसादो दुर्वासाः सर्वसाधुनिषेवितः प्रस्कन्दनो विभागज्ञो अतुल्यो यज्ञभागवित् सर्ववासः सर्वचारी दुर्वासा वासवोमरः हैमो हेमकरो यज्ञः सर्वधारी धरोत्तमः लोहिताक्षो महाक्षश्च विजयाक्षो विशारदः संग्रहो निग्रहः कर्ता सर्पचीरनिवासनः मुख्यो मुख्यश्च देहश्च काहलिः सर्वकामदः सर्वकासप्रसादश्च सुबलो बलरूपधृत् सर्वकामवरश्चैव सर्वदः सर्वतोमुखः आकाशनिर्विरूपश्च निपाती ह्यवशः खगः रौद्ररूपोऽंशुरादित्यो बहुरश्मिः सुवर्चसी वसुवेगो महावेगो मनोवेगो निशाचरः सर्ववासी श्रियावासी उपदेशकरोकरः मुनिरात्मनिरालोकः सम्भग्नश्च सहस्रदः पक्षी च पक्षरूपश्च अतिदीप्तो विशाम्पतिः उन्मादो मदनः कामो ह्यश्वत्थोऽर्थकरो यशः वामदेवश्च वामश्च प्राग्दक्षिणश्च वामनः सिद्धयोगी महर्षिश्च सिद्धार्थः सिद्धसाधकः भिक्षुश्च भिक्षुरूपश्च विपणो मृदुरव्ययः महासेनो विशाखश्च षष्टिभागो गवाम्पतिः वज्रहस्तश्च विष्कम्भी च मोस्तम्भन एव च वृत्तावृत्तकरस्तालो मधुर्मधुकलोचनः वाचस्पत्यो वाजसनो नित्यमाश्रमपूजितः ब्रह्मचारी लोकचारी सर्वचारी विचारवित् ईशान ईश्वरः कालो निशाचारी पिनाकवान् निमित्तस्थो निमित्तं च नन्दिर्नन्दिकरो हरिः. Thus, we have completed the 75 shlokas of the Sahasranama Stotram. Let's quickly go over the next set of shlokas. And today there will be a surprise test where I'll be asking a few shlokas from each of you. Hopefully, you have been practicing well. If not, maybe, without telling anyone, you can just mute me and go and practice the previous shlokas. Let's go ahead. नन्दीश्वरश्च नन्दी च नन्दनो नन्दिवर्धनः भगहारी निहन्ता च कालो ब्रह्मा पितामहः. Let's go it once again. नन्दीश्वरश्च नन्दी च नन्दनो नन्दिवर्धनः भगहारी निहन्ता च कालो ब्रह्मा पितामहः नन्दीश्वरश्च नन्दी च नन्दनो नन्दिवर्धनः भगहारी निहन्ता च कालो ब्रह्मा पितामहः. What does it say? So Nandishwaraha. In the previous shloka we have seen he is Nandi. Nandir Nandikaro Harihi. He is the dissolver Hari and he is Nandihi. He is of the form of Nandi, the Vahana of Shiva. It is himself also Shiva. And you see, I think I have forgotten to mention this, that the Bhakta, when he reaches scales height and heights of love and bhakti, he gets closer and closer to becoming his beloved, which is what we call as sarupyam, a very technical term in the bhakti literature. It means it's just the penultimate step before what they call as sayujam, which is their equivalent of moksha. So sarupyam actually means becoming like your beloved, the same rupa, sarupyam. So for example, Nandi has, because of his immense bhakti and patience and utmost servitude, willful servitude to Shiva, in this stotram, he is actually also risen to the status of being Shiva himself. So that is how we say Nandi. As another example, you see, what's his name? There was this Shishya of Shankaracharya, Padmapada, sorry, Padmapada. So he was a worshipper of Narasimha. Okay, so he did immense tapasya of Narasimha. And during one of the incidents where his guru was bodily threatened, that is, he was about to get killed, that is, Shankaracharya was about to get killed, because of his immense love for his guru as well as his erstwhile sadhana of Narasimha. The story says that he actually became Narasimha and he killed the aggressor. That's one other example. And of course, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, being a worshipper of Kali, At many times, many of his intimate disciples have reported to him being very motherly, very compassionate like a mother, and at times also being very mysterious, just as Kali is. And they have seen Kali in Paramahamsa himself. So, Sarupyam is that concept. Carrying by the same logic forward, we say he is Nandishwara. Nandishwara is the Lord of Nandi. So, he is the one who controls the Vahana, which is the Nandi. And cha Nandi cha, he is also Nandi. And now here there is a pun. Nandi can be broken down into two ways, derived in two ways. One as Nandin, the in anta, which is a tadhyata, which means one who has Nanda, which means one who has Ananda. One who is very blissful is called Nandi. So Shiva is the one who is always blissful. The second derivation is you can take this in the Strilinga form, Nandi, which means he is of the form of Parvati because she is also called as Nandi. Um, so Shiva can be thought of as both the Vahana Nandi as well as the one who has a lot of bliss, as well as Parvati, who is also the form of bliss. Nandicha Nandanaha. He brings joy to others. Not only is he himself happy and ecstatic, but he is Nandanaha. Paran Nandayati. He brings happiness to others. Nandi Vardhanaha. And he allows the growth of happiness, allows the growth of prosperity and abundance. Bhagahari. Bhaga is one of the, so Puranically speaking, he is one of the Rakshasas. He's called Bhagasura. But the other metaphorical meaning here is Bhaga means, that which is a good quality are called Bhagas, which is why we call God as Bhagavan. Bhagaha asya asti iti Bhagavan. So one who carries these divine qualities is called Bhaga. So then what does Bhagahari mean? So again, like we have discussed this already in the previous classes, Shiva is not only always all good, he can also be, the quite just the opposite, which is all bad and very evil. He can also be very good. He can also be a deva. He can also be an asura because he is God himself, the form of the entire cosmos. And of course, these devas and asuras are just small parts of it. So Bhagahari is actually a negative connotation, which means one who strips us away of the good qualities, one who mm, is that tamasic nature which makes us fall into samsara. So that is the meaning of Bhagahari, who strips us away of Bhaga, of good qualities. Nihanta, he is the murderer, he is the slayer, the executioner. Nihanta cha. Kalaha, he is time. So we have said this already, right? Shiva is often portrayed as the personification of time, whereas Parvati has been personified as space. So the holy union between space and time is what the cosmos is. Brahma is the creator Brahma. He is also Brahma, the firstborn deity. And Pitamaha, because he is Brahma, he is also the grandpa, the grandfather of the entire creation. नन्दीश्वरश्च नन्दी च नन्दनो नन्दिवर्धनः भगहारी निहन्ता च कालो ब्रह्मा पितामहः. And one other thing I just wanted to mention here is that there is this alliteration, and it sounds really nice when you say, first of all, in Samskritam itself is very nice to hear, very pleasant to hear. And alliteration is a hallmark, the greatest use or to a great extent abuse of alliteration has been done only in Sanskritam. And it is only that language which will allow us to use alliteration to such an extent without compromising on grammar and syntax. You see, nimitastha, na, nimitastho, nimittancha, nandir, nandikaro, harihi, nandishwarascha, nandicha, nandano, nandivardhana. This is just a poetic device it's called alankara, to enhance the beauty of the stotram. Bhagahari nihantaja kalo brahma pitamaha. Chaturmukho mahalingash charu lingas tathaiva cha lingadhyakshasuradhyaksho योगाध्यक्षो युगावहः चतुर्मुखो महालिङ्गश्चारुलिङ्गस्तथैव च लिङ्गाध्यक्षः सुराध्यक्षो योगाध्यक्षो युगावहः चतुर्मुखो महालिङ्गश्चारुलिङ्गस्तथैव च लिङ्गाध्यक्षः सुराध्यक्षो योगाध्यक्षो युगावहः. What's this word? It is Mahalingash Charulingas Tathaiva cha. Say it again. Chaturmukho Mahalingash Charulingas Tathaiva cha. Chaturmukho Mahalingash Charulingas Tathaiva cha. What does it mean? Chaturmukha. Who can tell me what it means? Four-faced. Because he is Brahma, as we have seen in the previous shloka, he has four faces. Chaturmukha. Mahalingash. He is of the form of the great linga. I hope you guys know the legend of Shiva. So there was this quarrel between Brahma and Vishnu. As to decide amongst themselves, there was this competition that who is the greater, who is more worthier of worship of the world, who is the greatest deity, basically. Now, not to misunderstand that these deities are just in the Puranas used as placeholders for human emotions. So they are not to be, these stories are not to be used to say, you see, Brahma himself would compete with Vishnu, so it's all right for me to also compete. And it is not a justification of our samsaric phenomena, but just to make us relate to them. Only for that sole purpose, Vedavyasa has brought down the level of these gods to human anthropogenic stories. Okay. Now, so Vishnu and Brahma would quarrel to see who would be the greater of the deities. And so it just went on for a while. And you know what a while in Deva terms means, for billions of years. So there was they used to fight, and because of which the samsara was in Allola Kallola. And and so the Devas, the Indra, Agni Devas, Devatas went to Shiva and asked him to resolve this conflict. So he accepted. He complied to their request, and out of the blue, when Brahma and Vishnu were fighting with each other in the cosmos, in mid air, I would say mid sky, there emerged a huge column of fire and light, and this column seemed to have no end on either sides, either up or down. So Brahma took the form of, he took a form of a swan, and he flew. So the question was, so they decided, okay, whoever finds the top or the bottom, whichever the respective chosen end is, first will be the greater, the worthier of worship. So he took the form of swan, Brahma, and he flew up, whereas Vishnu took the form of a a boar, Varaha, and he crawled down. He dug deep down and went into the nether worlds. And so neither of them actually were successful in finding where the anta of the linga was. The linga means a column. This is the Mahalinga, the great column of fire and energy. Whereas whereas Vishnu returned back, admitting to his inability to find the linga, and having failed at this task, Brahma returned saying, "Yes, I did find the linga. You see, and as proof for this, I have seen this flower which was kept on top of the linga. It's called Ketaki. So, because I was able to see that flower, you can ask the flower itself if that is the case. And when Vishnu asks the flower, it replies that yes, Brahma did come, and I was placed on top of the linga, and he did see me, thus marking that he has seen the end of the linga." Now Shiva was very furious because Brahma lied, And the story goes on to say that he actually chopped off the fifth head of Shiva as a mark of punishment for having lied using that mouth, that particular mouth. So he chopped the entire head off. While because Vishnu admitted and was honest, he made him uh, very worthy of worship, equal in level to Shiva's worship itself. And now, in fact, Vishnu has surpassed, Vishnu worship has surpassed Shiva worship in most, at least throughout the Indian subcontinent, just as a joke. So Mahalinga is that wall of that column of fire. Charu linga. Linga means here the second linga means a sign, 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 a symbol. Charu linga means one who has a very beautiful sign, a beautiful image. That is what charu linga mean. And tathaivacha, so on. Lingadhyaksha. He is the adhyaksha, the overseer or the supervisor of the lingas. There are three lingas, right? Pumlinga, Strilinga, and Napumsakalinga. He is the Lingadhyaksha. He governs these three genders. Thus, he is actually above the genders. So, he is not technically man, neither woman, nor is he a trans. Nor is he a neutral object. He is both animate and inanimate at the same time. So, he is, and which is what makes him the Lingadhyaksha. And Suradhyaksha, he is the governor of the Suras. Sura means the deities, the holy gods, Yama, Agni, Nirriti, Ishana, Bhumi, Dyauhu, etc. Yogadhyaksha, he is the boss of yoga, of course, because he is the one who actually first gave the yoga principles to this world. Yugavahaha, he is the one who sets the yugas into motion. Yugavahaha. What are the yugas? Anybody knows what the yugas are? Satya Yuga? Correct. Very right. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Then these are four yugas, which makes one Mahayuga, and more such Mahayugas make one Manvantara. More such Manvantaras make one Kalpa of Brahma or one day of Brahma, and 100 such years make up the entire span of the universe. Anyway, so he is the one who actually sets these into motion. Chaturmukho Mahalingash Charulingas Tathaiva cha Lingadhyakshas Suradhyaksho Yogadhyaksho Yugavaha Bijadhyaksho Bijakarta Avyaya Kshamyata Avyatmanugato Balaha बीजाध्यक्षो बीजकर्ता अव्यात्मानुगतो बलः इतिहासः सकल्पश्च गौतमोऽथ निशाकरः इतिहासः सकल्पश्च गौतमोऽथ निशाकरः बीजाध्यक्षो बीजकर्ता अव्यात्मानुगतो बलः इतिहासः सकल्पश्च गौतमोऽथ निशाकरः बीजाध्यक्षो बीजकर्ता अव्यात्मानुगतो बलः इतिहासः सकल्पश्च गौतमोऽथ निशाकरः बीजाध्यक्षः, he is the watcher of bija, of the first seed of the universe. He is the adhyaksha, you can say the father of the seed, right? He first overlooked the sprouting of the seed of the universe. Bija karta, he is the one who ejaculated the seed of the universe. Avyatma anugataha balaha. Avyatma. Vyatma means one which the Atma, the self, which has shattered into pieces is called Vyatma. Avyatma means one which has not shattered, one whose soul has not shattered into multiplicity and into plurality, which means whose soul, whose existence, whose essence is still preserved in homogeneity. That's called avyatma. See, all of our souls, we say our heart was broken when we have, broken up from a relationship, or we actually feel deeply hurt by grief when our parents die or when our loved children die or our spouses, etc. So, metaphorically speaking, our souls are shattered, we say, by extreme grief, extreme agony. It may be self induced or circumstance induced. But he, because he is Nandi, because he is bliss itself, there is no reason for the shattering of his soul. So his soul exists in one whole identity, and then that is one way to visualize. The other, I mean, I could think of why he is so called the unshattered soul is because in Advaita we say there is only one soul, right? And that pure soul, the chit chin matra we say, has no divisions, has no duplicity, has no multiplicity. It is one unchanging mm, soul entity. So there is no reason for the splitting of the soul. For example, this amoeba, it was one, it was split into two to make two daughter cells, and therefore it has lost its identity, its original parent identity, and now has become two things. But Shiva as God is that original amoeba, right? The undivided amoeba. Anugataha. Anugata means one who follows. So he comes as the follower. See, he's so humble. Though he is that limitless God, he can also come as the follower, as the anuchara, as the anugataha, balaha. He is strength itself, which is why even in astrology and even otherwise, the worship of Shiva is said to not just procure for us material achievements, but more importantly, strength, bala. And Swami Vivekananda always spoke of strength. Strength is life, weakness is death, is what his most famous quote is. So, strength and Vivekananda, many people compare him to Adi Shankaracharya and, of course, to Shiva himself. That enthusiasm, that power, that vigor, that assertiveness is all Shiva. And so, you can't even say it's a coincidence that he actually talked more and more about strength and bravery, balaha. And in fact, one of the Upanishads to this effect says, I think it is Mundaka, which says, Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha. This Atma, so the Upanishad having spoken about all this Brahma, abstract concepts of Atma, Brahma, and all that, it makes a resounding declaration saying, okay, all of this is well and good, but Nayam Atma balahinena labhyaha. You can't even imagine to find or understand this Atma, let alone realize it, by a balahina, by a person lacking in strength, moral, physical, spiritual, emotional, and all that. So that's a very haunting declaration that the Upanishads make. Itihasas, and for getting the strength, we are all here today to pray to Shiva to imbue us also with that strength. Itihasa sakalpascha. Itihasa is, he is the history itself. He is the history of not just India, but of the world. He is the account keeper and he is the accounter, the account itself. The entire account of all things which have happened in the past. Sakalpascha. Sakalpa. Kalpa means creation. Sakalpaha means one who exists with creation. You see, in this example of amoeba, when the daughter have been born, the daughter amoeba are born, there is no parent anymore. So you can't say it is sakalpa. Why? Because it does not exist alongside its creation. Do you see that? The moment the parent dies is the moment the daughters are born. So they do not exist simultaneously. But Shiva here exists with his son or daughter, which is the universe, alongside it. So there is no destruction of the main entity, the parent entity, he still exists alongside the universe. Sakalpascha. Gautamaha, he is the Rishi Gautama. Atha means and. In this context, it means and he is also Nishakaraha. Nisha we have seen. Nishachara means one who walks in night. Kara means to do, to make happen. Nishakara means one who makes the night happen. Night, night happen. So he is the Chandra. So Chandra is believed to be the Nishakara because he brings the night along with him. Well, Divakara, one who brings the day, is associated with Surya. Nishakara is Chandra. He is the one who causes night. बीजाध्यक्षो बीजकर्ता अव्यात्मानुगतो बलः इतिहासः सकल्पश्च गौतमोऽथ निशाकरः दम्भो ह्यदम्भो वैदम्भो वश्यो वशकरः कलिः लोककर्ता पशुपतिर्महाकर्ता ह्यनौषधः दम्भो ह्यदम्भो वैदम्भो वश्यो वशकरः कलिः लोककर्ता पशुपतिर्महाकर्ता ह्यनौषधः दम्भो ह्यदम्भो वैदम्भो वश्यो वशकरः कलिः लोककर्ता पशुपतिर्महाकर्ता ह्यनौषधः दम्भो ह्यदम्भो, it is HYA. दम्भो ह्यदम्भो वैदम्भो वश्यो वशकरः कलिः लोककर्ता पशुपतिर्महाकर्ता ह्यनौषधः. So, what does it mean? Dambha. Dambha means darpa. Dambha means two meanings. One meaning is show off, grandiosity. One who just does things for the sake of show off, for the sake of pleasing others, and to want others' appreciation, which is why he said dambhachara, right? And the other meaning of dambha is one who is very proud, very prideful. Dambha. He is that because he is very aggressive, very masculine, and both these meanings are in line with what usual masculinity is. No offense, but that is how. And like I said already, masculinity can be in both men, women, transgenders, anybody, increases also. You know, it is a characteristic. Masculinity is an energy. It can be in men, it can be in women, it can be in trans, in any object too, any others too. Dambha, hyadambha. Adambha means one who is not. Now here is just a sandhi there. It is he adambha. And he is just a filler. Adambha means one who is not. He is both the one who is very proud and one who is also very humble. Vaidambha. Vaidambha means one who is especially proud. Not just proud, but especially exaggeratedly proud. So one who has almost to the point of delusion, believed himself to be above everybody else. So that those people are called Vaidambhis or Vaidambhas. And he is also those people who are excessively proud. And Vashyaha. Vashyaha is one who has to be conquered. Vashyaha. So he actually likes himself. He likes to be conquered. How? Because as God, he expects his devotees to conquer him. He expects that he must be conquered through love and bhakti. Vashyaha. Vashakaraha. He also causes, uh, us to conquer things. So Vashakaraha means if we pray to Shiva, we will get the power to do Vashikarana of others. Not just hypnotism, it just means we will get that strength that others will submit to us, that we will be in control, Vasha of others. Vashakaraha. Kali, he is the Kali. He is the Kali Yuga and he is also the personification of darkness. Kali literally means dark, which is why Kali Yuga is called the dark age. Dwapara, by the way, means confusion. Dwapara, this or that, dharma or adharma. Is this true or is that true? So this gray area, the age of grayness is called the Dwapara. The age of pitch darkness is called Kali. Treta is where there are three things. So there is the good, bad, and the ugly existing all simultaneously. So it is called Treta. Uh, so there was a clear-cut definition, but there were three things. There was the good, there was the bad, and there was the ugly. Whereas in Satya Yuga, there was only one, which was only good. That is technically how it was defined. Satya Yuga means only one. And then in Treta Yuga, there are three, but there is a clear-cut distinction between them. In Dwapara, there is no distinction at all. Everything has, become gray area. They have all overlapped. What is adharma? For example, the most famous incident of Draupadi, right? Being the Vastrapahana, Chirapaharana of Draupadi, when she asked this question, did Yudhishthira bet himself first or did he bet me? And if he bet himself first and lost, how am I in his possession anymore? And how can I be on the be waged? So now this is a very this is a question which falls in the gray area, which not even Bhishma and Kripacharya was able to actually answer. And so this is the age of Dwapara, where there is enormous gray moral flexibility. And Dwapara, of course, there is no morality itself, there is just darkness everywhere. So he is also that Kali. Lokakarta. Lokakarta, the one who creates the worlds. The now it also means Loka actually also means the perspective. Because something which we see is called a Loka. Lokyate iti Lokaha. So a perspective is also called loka. So the one who creates perspectives, creates different ways of thinking, different vantage points is also Shiva. Lokakarta, Pashupatihi. No need for explanation. It is the lord of the Pashus, of the animals. Mahakarta. He is the great creator. He Anaushadha. Anaushadha, one who is the opposite of Aushadha. So what does it mean? Aushadha means medicine. Anaushadha means one who is the opposite or antagonistic to medicine. So it means one who actually does not require any medicine. Anaushadha means na aushadham yasya saha. So which one who actually does not require any aushadha. You see, all of us, though we think we are very healthy and actually sane, when we are living in an insane society and we are contributing to the insaneness of the society. So in lots of ways, we are actually, we have all gone mad and we are all very delusional. So we require aushadha, we require some medicine and some cure. But Shiva, being perfect by himself, requires no aushadha, no cure. Anaushadha. By the way, it's very interesting to note that many of these uncurable, irreversible diseases are also said to be the curses of Shiva itself. So even in that sense, he can be thought of being an Anaushadha because he creates or he is the personification of those diseases which have no cure, like cancer, these rheumatoid arthritis and all these AIDS and all these. These diseases are caused by extremity. That is how the Ayurveda speaks of, or at least looks at these new diseases, these uncurable diseases, as being the products of either extreme abundance or extreme depravity. Either of these extremities causes these uh, uncurable diseases. So he is the Anaushadha. And anything about extremity is always Shiva. He is the extreme um, yogi. He is also the extreme bhogi too. Somebody has a question? Pratima? Yes. Please ask, ma'am. Am I audible? So Pratibha Arya, do you have any question? Or do you want to add something to this? Okay, it must have been a mistake. Let's go ahead. दम्भो ह्यदम्भो वैदम्भो वश्यो वशकरः कलिः लोककर्ता पशुपतिर्महाकर्ता ह्यनौषधः अक्षरं परमं ब्रह्म बलवच्छक्र एव च नीतिर्ह्यनीतिः शुद्धात्मा शुद्धो मान्यो गतागतः अक्षरं परमं ब्रह्म बलवच्च. What is that? Balavach, VACH. Balavach chakra evacha. Balavach chakra evacha. Aksharam paramam brahma balavach chakra evacha. Aksharam paramam brahma balavach chakra evacha. Nitir ह्यनीति शुद्धात्मा शुद्धो मान्यो गतागतः नीतिर्ह्यनीति शुद्धात्मा शुद्धो मान्यो गतागतः अक्षरं परमं ब्रह्म बलवच्छक्र एव च नीतिर्ह्यनीति शुद्धात्मा शुद्धो मान्यो गतागतः. A very simple but most potent shloka. Aksharam, he is that immutable. Na ksharati, that which cannot be destroyed, that which does not decay is called aksharam. Aksharam. Paramam. Aksharam, paramam, that which is also the ultimate. Paramam means the ultimate. Brahma, the vast. Aksharam, paramam, Brahma, that which is the vastest, the most supreme most. Basically, God is Brahma. And some philosophies actually put Brahma, that is not the creator God, but that abstractness, that supreme most abstractness, even above Ishvara, which is God. So the underlying, the fundamental substance of this universe is called Brahma. Balavat chakra evacha. Balavat chakra. Balavat chakra means Indra. One who is very powerful is called Chakra, and it actually refers to Indra. Balavat Chakraha. Balavat Chakra is split as Balavat and Chakra. Chakra is Indra. So what does Balavat mean? Balavat means one who has Bala. One who has the strength is one meaning. And Bala in Samskritam also refers to an army. Bala means Sainyam. So this Indra who is the commander in chief, the supremest commander of the Daiva Sainya is Shiva itself. So he is depicted as that particular imagery of Indra. You can just imagine Indra with his Vajrayudha in his hand, and scores and scores of divine ayudhas in the hands of these devas, magical, very powerful beings. And so Shiva is that imagery. Balavat Chakra Evacha. Evacha again fillers. Nitihi. Now Niti actually in Sanskritam means strategy. Niti is strategy. It is also morality, but more so used in terms of Niti. Which is why we say Chanakya Niti, the strategy of Chanakya. Right? So that is Nitihi. Nitihi is strategy. And he anitihi. He is also the opposite of strategy, which means he is also chaos. He is also unpreparedness. Niti is prepared strategy, organizational rules, and aniti is anarchical rules. There is no rules basically. He is the opposite of rules. Anitihi. Shuddhatma, one who has a very pure soul. We say this guy is a pure soul, right? What does it mean? It means he has good intentions. So good mind. He means no harm to others, and he is very kind and giving. His empathic and so on. So that is what Shuddhatma is. One who has a clear Atma. And what does clear mean? Clarity One, in terms of intellect, he has a clarity, so he is Shuddhatma in that sense. And he also he has clarity in terms of the mind, that is by emotions. Bhavataya Shuddhaha. Bhavanabhi Shuddha. He is clear of all such emotions. Shuddha. And he is also Shuddha by body. Now, because he is a yogi, he has to be in very strict, austere principles of cleanliness and hygiene. So he is also Shuddha in that sense. And Shuddha, of course, he is very clean. Manyaha. Manyaha means one who must be venerated, one who must be respected, venerable. We say honorable Prime Minister, you say Manya. Sabhapati Manya. Manya Pradhan Mantri. Manyaha. Gatagataha. Now, Gatagata is a very powerful word, you see. Gata means one who goes and comes, basically. One who goes, in the sense, one who goes away from the world, that is by death, and Agata, one who comes into this world through birth. Uh, by the way, there is also this very peculiar nickname that Buddha uses for himself. He calls himself Tathagata. If you have heard, Buddha never calls himself either Gautama, nor Siddhartha, nor Buddha, nor Bodhisattva, whatever. He just calls himself Tathagata, and he refers to himself in the third person always. Tathagata said so. Tathagata says this. Tathagata did that, and so such. Tathagata means one who has just come like that. Sumne in Kannada, this is very powerful. Sumne hige bandava anta. One who has just come here. Tathagata. And it also means one who will also just go like that. Tatha gachati. One who will also just go like that. So he actually never claims any importance to himself. I see Sudarshan, oh, this is this person sitting here. I'm, somehow teaching something to all these people here. So there is no ounce of pride. There is no ounce of attachment even to the self. That is called Tathagata. And similarly, Gatagata also refers to this person like the wind, which just blows from one place to another without any particular dimension, without any particular vigor or particular zest in life. So just Gatagataha. अक्षरं परमं ब्रह्म बलवच्छक्र एव च नीतिर्ह्यनीतिः शुद्धात्मा शुद्धो मान्यो गतागतः. One last, and then we will have this small exam. And maybe after this shloka, somebody had asked, who's this? Pushpa Arya can actually choose to leave the class afterwards. बहुप्रसाद सुस्वप्नो दर्पणोत्थत्वमित्रजित् वेदकारो मन्त्रकारो विद्वान् समरमर्दनः. Listen closely. बहुप्रसादः सुस्वप्नो दर्पणो मित्रजित. The actual split is to amitrajit, but for the sake of pronunciation, as I aid to pronunciation, split this as Tattva mitrajit. Tattva mitrajit. बहुप्रसाद सुस्वप्नो दर्पणो तत्त्वमित्रजित्. तत्त्वमित्रजित् वेदकारो मन्त्रकारो विद्वान् समरमर्दनः. What's that word? Vidwan समरमर्दनः. विद्वान् समरमर्दनः. बहुप्रसादः सुस्वप्नो दर्पणो तत्त्वमित्रजित् वेदकारो मन्त्रकारो विद्वान् समरमर्दनः. Bahuprasadaha, he who is utmost pleased, absolutely pleased. Bahuprasadaha. There is nothing which can actually shake his calm and serene. In fact, to this effect, there is this very nice shloka, one of my favorites from Bhagavad Gita, If anybody can remind me the first line of this shloka, it ends with Gurunapi na Gurunapi na Gurunapi Vichalyate, something to that effect. So where he says Sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhigrahyam atindriyam vetti yatra na chayvayam stitaschalati tatvatah yam yam ya. I mean, I just tend to forget this, but if anybody can remind me or put it in the comments in the chat what the first line of it that is. Gurunapi dukkhena gurunapi na vichalyate. Once who has attained to this samadhi, this greatest supreme most samadhi or Shiva Tattva basically, enlightenment, Gurunapi dukkhena na vichalyate. He cannot be moved, he or she. Uh, Pardon my excessive use of masculine pronouns. He or she cannot be moved or perturbed, disturbed by the greatest, the most serious of agonies. For example, I mean, I just recently watched this very absolutely stunning movie called Sambhaji, Miss Chava, where Sambha. Can you hear me? Okay, am I okay? Please check on your front if it is an network issue on your side, ma'am. Maybe you can rejoin. Uh, yeah, I'm able to hear you. I'm able to hear you, ma'am. I'm able to hear you. Is the audio better now for you? Yes. Okay. Anyway, coming back to this, Chava. So Sambhaji, he actually was put through the most gruesome and grotesque of all tortures, physical and mental tortures both, deprived of food, made to stand in the sun with his hands tied. Man, the depiction is too gross and undigestible. So such a person I mean, he bore all that pain and agony without even uttering a scream or a cry of pain. So, such a state is attainable only by the grace of Shiva, and he is the Bahu Prasadaha, one whose peace cannot be disturbed, the utmost peaceful person. Suswapnaha, he has good dreams. He is the form of good dreams. Sometimes when we have been thinking of our beloved, we tend to dream about the same. Similar is the case with any spiritual or non-spiritual dreams too, something which we feel good about. So swapnaha, darpanaha, he is the mirror to the world. He is a mirror. Whatever we offer to him, that he will show us back. That will come back to us. He is a darpana. Athat tu amitrajit. He is tu and also amitrajit. He has conquered all the amitras. Amitras means the enemies. He has conquered all his foes. There is nobody who can stand to be an enemy to Shiva. He is Amitrajit, Vedakaraha, one who brought the Vedas, Mantrakaraha, one who was the inspiration to all the rishis to even see and hear those mantras. Mantrakaraha, Vidwan, he is the scholar. Samara Mardana. Samara Mardana. Samara means the battlefield. He is a lion in the battlefield. He is a Mardana. He is a slayer. We say he goes berserk, right? So he is that person who goes just absolutely berserk in a battlefield. Samara Mardana. And he's also a Vidwan. He's the most sattvic person. You see, a Vidwan and the most tamasic berserk animal, most brute of the war. He's a Samara Mardana. बहुप्रसाद सुस्वप्नो दर्पणोऽथत्वमित्रजित् वेदकारो मन्त्रकारो विद्वान् समरमर्दनः. By the way, Vidwan, I mean, most scholars, or at least of the olden era, were always used to live like ascetics. They were very close to at least being sannyasis. They may not have taken the ochre robes, but the Vidwans of those days, the Ghanapatis, if you see the Veda Ghanapatis, etc., they lived actually, though they had the skill to earn, and people would fall at their feet and offer them money, they would reject it. And they would be very ascetic, very simple, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also is one such contemporary example. Being the president, he had almost zero belongings. So he's a Vidwan. Similarly, like Shiva, so they like to be like Shiva. Very few attachments, very Vairagis, and but greatest in thinking. Samara Mardanaha. And now, Pushpari, you are free to actually log out. You can please carry on with your class. Dhanyawad. The others, please stay back just for a few more minutes. I have a small test to test you guys if you have been studying properly. Let's take up. I mean, I see many new people here, so I cannot actually be asking you. Let us look at our pioneers, the stalwarts. Indira Arye, could you please unmute and chant a few shlokas? Let's. Okay, just go to 66. 66 onwards. Okay. Yeah, please go on. Will you be scrolling or shall I go to my script? I will be scrolling. Please go ahead, ma'am. 66 onwards, right? No worries. Go for it. One thing is, Sanskrit is a new language for me. I become conscious. That's all. When I'm chanting on my own, okay, the flow is good. But when I do it, okay, in front of others, especially when experts like you, I become a little nervous. So I think that can happen now also. No worries, ma'am. No, I mean, you have actually chanted well last time also, so please go ahead. Here is the so I always have advised my students to be confident and all, but now I know what it is to be. Yeah, please go on. Yascha dehascha ahani sarvakamadaha sarvakasaprasadascha subalo balarupadrut sarvakamavarashchaiva sarvatomukaha akashanirvirupascha nipati yavashah kagaha raudrarupo suradityo bahurashmi suvarchasi vasuvego mahavego manovego nishacharaha sarvavasi shriyavasi upadeshakaro karaha muniratmaniraloka kaha sambhavagnaschа sahatradaha pakshicha paksharupascha atitito visham patihi unmado madanakamo yashvatto takaro yashaha vamadevascha vamascha ragadakshinascha vamanaha siddhayogi maharshishcha siddhartha siddhasadhakaha
भिक्षुरूपश्च विपणो मृदुरव्ययः महासेनो विशाख्याश्च षष्टिभागो गवाम्पतिः वज्रहस्तक्षविष्कम्भी चूमस्तम्भन एव च वृत्तावृत्तकरस्तालो मधुकलोचनः वाचस्पत्यो वाजसेनो नित्यमाश्रमपूजितः ब्रह्मचारी लोकचारी सर्वचारी विचारवित्.
It's spectacular, very nice. Just a few here and there, small mistakes. Just